So I guess I'm going to jump right into this one. So when I was in my teens, I actually befriended a girl. I was so excited because there weren't many girls, young teens my age, of color. We looked similar. I mean, we both had the same build and everything, so I was excited. And I went out of my way to actually extend my friendship to this girl. She actually thought I was a part of the school welcome wagon, which they didn't have one. Our demeanors were quite different. She was a little bit more quiet and to herself. I was outgoing, more of a social butterfly. And at times people in that school would get us confused. They're like, oh, sometimes you're moody and then sometimes you're nice. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's not me. That's the other girl. And we'll just call her Doris. Even though she was a little grouchy and definitely not thrilled about being at that school because she had to be taken away from all of her friends. She seemed to be a good person. She would take care of her sister. Mom was a good person to me, actually being there for me in a time of need. It seemed like this would be a good friendship. Even though that seemed to be the case at the time, there were certain things that I chose to ignore, which were signs of a bad friendship to come. The guy that I was seeing at the time that really expressed marriage at an age, they told me she had hit on him. And it was very forward. And I guess that should have been one of my first warning signs. As time moved on, we all went our separate ways and we started our own families. And she ended up marrying a guy that kind of almost matched her energy. In some ways, he was a little bit more positive than she, but in other ways, there was an insecurity that was there. As I went on to start writing, diving into the social media platform, as well as influencing, I noticed that they would do or conspire to do little things. Like they would actually start a fake account and start bullying me. And one of the fake accounts was actually under Jay Leno. And I knew it was them because they're just messy like that. So basically, they were trolls. They had troll behavior. That should have been a red flag from the very beginning. But what ended up ending the relationship for good is when I had to let go of a family member that was just going down the wrong path, a dangerous path, and I had to eventually cut that individual loose. She actually tried to be sympathetic and was like, hey, yeah, that happened with me. I'm going through this with this family member at this time. So it was all good. But then I get a text from somebody who's like, hey, I just saw this pic and she's with me, that family member. I am very into my jobs and into my family life. I don't really have time to troll the internet. That's not what I do. Receive anywhere from 20 to 30 packages a week of unboxing. That's how Auntie makes her coins. Unboxing. The time I find out about something that is not positive at all is if somebody texts me. I'm working, but I take time off. So I call and I'm like, what are you doing? What is wrong with you? I'm like, you know what? You take care. You take care. That was that in the midst of the pandemic. So I just kept unboxing and doing my thing and influencing. Speeding up to date, speaking to a financial advisor, something just clicked because they were telling me 20 years this investment will work out well. And another 20 years. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, 20 years. And I'm thinking I'm already 100. And then it just put life in perspective. In 20 years, that's not promised to any of us. We don't know the hour in which our time is up. I can't imagine hanging around a whole bunch of people that I know are shady. What if I just went, it's okay. Like I did when I was younger and still had these people around me. And then it's over. It's time to clock out. My investments here on earth. Am I being transparent? Am I being intentional with my friendships and with the people that I have around? Death, as they say, is so final. And if you're like me and you do believe in eternal life, you want to make sure that your life is intentional here on earth.